Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man, Hezo. Welcome back to the Blacktop. I always got next, you feel me? Oh, man. I'm be honest, man. I'm not even really mad, Hawks fans. I'm not even really mad. The series is over. This series is over. I picked us to lose in 5. It's looking like we're probably going to get swept at this point. I think if we do win a game, it's not going to be game 3. I think if we do win a game, it'll be game 4 where Boston just kind of lets off the gas. We catch them off guard, and then we win a game at home. Boston will go up 3-1, and then they'll close it out in 5 back at home. This series has just been extremely lopsided. You see who the clear better team is. I said it in my last recap. We're just outmatched, man, and it's okay to admit that. They are such a superior team. I don't know if any team in the NBA can beat Boston in a 7-game series. I picked Milwaukee to win the championship, but with Giannis's health, I don't know if anybody can beat Boston. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Drop a like on the video. A lot to dive into once again. Let's get right into it. So there's one topic that I want to get into right off the bat before I get into the actual recap itself. And I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. And I want to keep it as short because I am going to be streaming tomorrow, so y'all be on the lookout for that. I am going to be streaming tomorrow, and I want to go into it a little bit more in depth on stream. So if y'all are curious, after I get done, tune into the stream tomorrow. We got to talk about Trey. We got to talk about Trey, and I don't know what is going on with him, but this is one of, I've never seen a star player go downhill so fast. This is actually like extremely bad for Trey. And I'm every game I watch, I'll be honest, man, I'm going to be very transparent and I'm going to be very honest. I am leaning more and more towards a Trae Young trade. It's getting to the point where they can't even have this dude on the court because of how bad he is on defense and how his decision making on offense is putrid. His decision making is so bad. I don't know if there's a worse player in the league in terms of the decisions that they make, constantly with just jacking up threes, turnovers, not playing defense. Trey did he have a better game than I? Yeah, sure. He had a better game than he had in game 1, but it was still terrible. He had 24. That's cool. 9 for 22 shooting. He had 24 points off 22 shots, 5 turnovers, 6 assists. This is a guy, again, man, I talked about this in my last recap. He's our franchise player. He's getting paid $200 million. So a game like this, again, it's unacceptable. You cannot have your star player night in and night out in the playoffs playing like the way he's playing dating back to the Miami series. I'm so tired of everybody out there saying, oh, well,
you forget what he did in 2021 and blah, blah.
No, man, no, let it go. It was one good playoff run, really one good playoff series, and it was against New York. Let it go. That Trey's gone. That Trey is out the door. He's long gone. I don't know what is wrong with Trey, but something needs to change, and he has to be. I'm gonna say it, man. He has to be shopped. He has to be shopped this offseason. You're not gonna win a championship with Trey as the best player. You're not. One thing that bothers me that a lot of Hawks fans, a lot of fellow Hawks fans, and a lot of Trey fans will say is you gotta just let Trey be Trey. No. You cannot let him continue to keep this play style the same. It is not championship basketball. It is not winning basketball. It will never win in the NBA. Teams have him figured out. The play style that he plays with jacking up logo threes, consistently turning the ball over, we will never win, and you guys need to accept that. I like Trey just as much as y'all do. But at the same time, man, I'm a Hawks fan first. I'm a Hawks fan first over anybody. Now, I know I defend Dre and all that, and I'm not going to get into my Dre rant like I did last video. Y'all know how I feel about it. I'm not going to get into it. Trey has to be better. There's no other way to put it. And if he's not going to be better, he has to at least be shopped in the offseason. Maybe not get traded, but he has to at least. The Hawks have to at least take calls and make calls in regards to Trae Young. The problem with Trae against the Celtics is that, and I mentioned this again before the series even started, they have multiple guys that can play defense on Trae. They have multiple guys that can make it tough on him. But the offense isn't even really as much as the problem because we know what he can do. We just haven't seen it. It's the defense. Against a team like the Celtics, there is no one for him to guard. Derek White is giving his ass buckets all night long. Derek White's been the best player in this series. There is no one for Trey to guard on the defensive end because there's no one for the Hawks to hide him on. He can't guard anybody. He can't guard Brogdon. He can't guard Marcus Smart. He can't guard Derek White, and we know he's not guarding Tatum or Jaylen Brown. So who is he guarding? You can't hide him. That's been the biggest issue with the Hawks defense is they continuously just attack. Trae Young, get to the paint. Derek White was living in the paint tonight. I don't want to go too much more into it. Again, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more on stream tomorrow, so y'all be on the lookout for that. Now, this game started out, and it was hell of an offensive performance for the Hawks coming out the gate. I mean, we jumped up 11 points, was hitting threes. The offense looked much more comfortable. Trey looked a little bit more comfortable. DeJounte looked more comfortable. DeAndre Hunter was, making his jump shots. And then halfway through the first quarter, it was good for about the first 5 minutes of the game. I was like, oh man, yeah, here we are. This is the Hawks team I've been waiting on for about 5 minutes. And then halfway through the first quarter, the bench comes in and we go on a scoring drought. About 4 or 5 minutes without a bucket. And the Celtics go on a 14-0 run. They go from down 11 to up 3 at the end of the first quarter. The Celtics were just getting to the paint at will. They completely owned the paint tonight. They dominated the paint. Clint Capella is unplayable at this point. He can't guard. Again, that's another mismatch. When you have Al Horford on the floor at the 5, he can't step out and guard Al Horford. He can't. Because when he does, there's no rim protection and there's nobody to block shots down the paint. And that's why Derek White was getting down there at will. Jason Tatum was getting down there at will. We just don't have the recipe to beat the Celtics. They dominated the paint. Derek White had, another incredible half and another incredible game. He's been the best player in this series. He's been the best guard in this series. He really is the X factor right now for the Celtics. And again, the Celtics team, they're going to be hard to beat, man. So the second half starts, and we did our fake comeback, like normal. DeJounte really got going in the third quarter. He really carried the Hawks the entire third quarter, was really the only source of offense. And don't get me wrong, DeJounte, he didn't have a great game, but he didn't have a horrible game. But I mean, outside of that third quarter stretch that we saw when he rattled off, I think 13 points in the third quarter, he didn't really do much the rest of the game. He didn't really do much in the first half. He didn't really do much in the fourth quarter. He had a handful of sloppy turnovers. He did it 6 threes, which was great to see. Hawks went on a run. They cut it to 9 at the end of the third quarter, and it was looking like maybe we can still, come back and steal this game. But it was the fake comeback once again. The Celtics dominated the entire fourth quarter. It went from 9 to 20 within minutes, and it was painful to watch, man. The Hawks were just terrible offensively in the fourth quarter. It didn't help that we got really no production from the bench outside of Bogey. Okongwu had an okay game, but Saddiq Bey has been non-existent in this series. Jalen Johnson has not done anything in this series. And when you're pretty much running a 7-man rotation with your star player pretty much being on the back of a milk carton, there's not much you can do against a team like the Celtics. You're asking him to get swept. And it's just that simple, man. This series is over. This is another game where I just don't really have any final takeaways just because we've just been outmatched entirely. We've gotten dominated the last 2 games. Other than the couple fake runs that Atlanta has gone on, which happens in basketball all the time. We all know that. Teams go on runs, teams answer runs. It happens, man. It's the NBA. The Celtics are vulnerable to it, but the difference is the Celtics withstand it. And they're able to close the game out by going on a run of their own when Atlanta goes on a bad scoring drought once again in the fourth quarter, and we can't capitalize. Missed shots, turnovers. There's so much wrong with this team, and I really want to talk about what needs to change in the offseason and who needs to get moved and where we need to go. Do we hit the reset button? Do we just retool? I want to talk about all that. But I'm going to save that for another video. We still got at least 2 more games. Until we get eliminated, that's when I will record and drop that video. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Coming up probably within the next couple weeks, once we get swept or losing 5 games, that video is going to be dropping pretty much right after we get eliminated. Shout out to the Celtics, man. They have really done their job in this series in putting away a lower seed, in the first 2 games. Hopefully we can see some fight in game 3 from our guys, but I just don't see it. I haven't seen enough from our guys these first 2 games to be confident going into Atlanta for game 3. This is just a different This is a different team, man. This is a different powerhouse that we are facing. We are outmatched in almost every single way. I just don't see it being a very good outcome for game 3. So I'm gonna pretty much leave it there, man. Not really too much more to go into for this game. Just, again, complete dominance from the Celtics. Shout out to them. They did their job. Let's see if they can close it out in 4 games, maybe 5, which we know it's gonna happen. And we'll get ready for the offseason, man. But again, that time will come. We'll address it when that time comes. I'm gonna get on out of here. Y'all drop a like on the video. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see y'all for game 3.